Good morning, Gloria, Heather, and Wendy. Good morning, Connie. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Elizabeth. Morning, Nancy. Morning, Helen. Welcome back. It's been ages. Good morning, Joni. Hello, Christine. Good morning, Mary. Our cloudy, wet, snowy last day of November. Missing a few of our regulars here. Hopefully they will shuffle in a couple of minutes. We are up to, hi Jan, 460 members now. Good morning, Barb. We've got people standing on the street corners, as I said, dragging them in. Hello, Marty. Hello, Diane. Oh, they're all flowing in now. Hello, Denise. Hello, Charlene. Good morning, Louise. It's 10 o'clock, let's get started. Hello, Cisco. And let's roll those shoulders forward. And alternate. And roll them back. And alternate. Hello, Helen. Morning, Ann. And up and down. And alternate. Forward and back. And bring those arms in. And arms out. And wrists. And wiggle those fingers. Good morning, Joanne. Morning, Rita. Press those fingers into your thumbs. And snap those fingers one at a time. And back to your march. And let's hula. Change that direction. And back to your march. Hamstrings. And back to that march. Good morning, Patricia. And go to a toe tap. Left and right. Change that to a heel. Hello, Susan. I was just talking about you. All good, I promise. Left and right. Change to the other heel. Left and right. Toe to your toes. Left and right. And back to your march. Let's start with our toes out to the side. Let's double that motion. And back to singles. Change that to a toe out front. We're going to try something new today. I'm not sure I can do it, but it'll be fun trying. Back to your march. So we're going to go basically around a circle with that toe tap. So it's to the side, to the side. No, we won't be able to do a circle. We'll have to do an X. Side, side, front, front. That's boring. But we'll do it anyway. Add a little bit of bounce in there. Gotta think some of these moves out ahead of time before I try to present them. As I was laying in bed, they seemed to work out fine. And back to your march. Let's get those hands up. Up and front. Let's add that quarter to three. And leave those hands up. Let's bring it up to pace. Left and right. Now this motion we make bigger, the arm comes around behind the back. And forward and back. Shorten that motion, bring it up to pace. Good morning, Melissa. Bring that motion down. And bring it down again. Bring it back up. And bring it tall. And march. Hamstrings. singles. And back to your march. Heels out front. If you can, add a little bounce. Back to your march. And a quick drink for me. Excuse me. Let's do our 4-step. Here we go. 1. Let's hear you count. Count by 2s. 2, 4, 6. 3s. 4s. 4, 8. Don't hear you. 5, 10. 6, 6, 12. 7, 8, 8. 9. And 10s. Change to a grapevine. And back to your march. V-step. We've got some new people today. We'll go through the V-step nice and slow. It's out, out, in. Again, out, out, in. We add the arms. Out, out, in. So we keep this motion going. Next time around, we bring it up to pace. Here we go. Morning, Judy. When we go back to the half pace, you practice freezing. It takes as many muscles to do this as it does to move. Lately, I've been using this freezing motion at the grocery stores. People are stopping dead in front of me, so I have a choice. Let's bring it up to pace. I either freeze, or I run them down with my shopping cart. And back to our march. Let's get those knees up nice and high. As we start to pace wider, we get more of a rock in our body. And then we pace back in. And back out. And back in. Stop at about hip width. Let's do our squats. Keep that torso tall. One way to do that is to keep the head up, facing front. Back to your march. For our abs, there's two ways we can do this exercise, depending on your ability. We bring the knees up to the hands. Now bring the knees up to the hands, don't bring the hands down to the knees. For those of you that want a little bit more of a workout, or a lot more of a workout, we change this to elbows. And back to your march. Whew, that was good. I like that one. Just a little kick out to the front. Make sure those arms are not dangling. The whole point to this 15 to 20 minute section, get that heartbeat going. If your arms are up, it's easier to get the heartbeat up. Morning, Susan. Let's double that motion. Back to singles. Back to your march. Four steps forward, ending with a heel. 4 steps back, ending with a toe. It looks like this. 1, 2, 3, heel, toe. Add a clap. So I started this one by stepping forward with my left foot. I'm going to stop, march in the middle, and then start forward with my right foot. And back to your march. Now that we've gotten used to heel forward and toe back, that's all we're going to do. Looks like this. It's heel, toe. And if you're comfortable spinning in a circle, well, not spinning, turning, and your balance is good, we do this as we turn a circle. So the same thing as before, I've been doing my right foot with the heel, going to go back to my march, and I'm going to go to my left foot, heel, toe back. Here we go, heel and toe. And turning that circle the opposite direction. And back to that march. Quick drink. We have to teach the new people how to do quarter hours with our feet. Looks like this. It's 12, 3, 6, then back out. Then we go to the other foot. Let's do that again slow. Yes, this is slow. When we come back up with the other foot, we go up to pace. Here we go. Morning, Leslie. Didn't see you sneak in. One more time around. And back to your march. Toe tap, both sets of toes. Keep those hands up, don't let them dangle. Although we're doing a cool down for 5 minutes, we want to bring that heart rate down slowly. So we keep our hands up. Left and right on those heels. And then tap those heels. Morning, Vicky. Then alternate and get those hips going. And back to your march. Light hamstring curls. And back to your march. Now we do our hula, but we forget the music. We make really huge motions with our hips and our body. So the first thing is get those arms out, stick that behind out, and start that hula. Way out front, way out to the side. Then change that direction. Remember, make those motions as big as comfortable for you. Loosening up those joints a little bit. And then back to your march. And wiggle those fingers. And fingers and fists. And wrists. And bring those arms in. And arms out. And shoulders up and down. And alternate. And forward and back. And roll them back. And roll them forward. And I'm going to get a drink, and then we'll start with our equipment. So for the new people that are here this morning, we use equipment 99.9% of the time. And if you don't have the same equipment that we have, you can make good substitutions. For example, many of us use hand weights. These can be picked up at Walmart at certain weights. Canadian Tire, Winners, all depends on the time of year, I guess. If you can't find hand weights or you don't have any handy, juice cans, water bottles, it all depends on your ability to start. All we're trying to do is add some extra weight for those muscles. So it doesn't have to be heavy. I've got people that do 1 pound. I have people that go up to 8 pounds and more. I have one woman here today who's put wrist straps on to just add a little bit more weight. But anything you can do to add weight. I wouldn't suggest you start with your grandchildren. They weigh too much. We use a resistance band. These can definitely be picked up at Winners. The Dollarama on Google, south of Walmart, carries these, cheap, good ones. If you can't find this, find anything that has some kind of elastic to it. The Winners on Google, for those of you that live in Windsor, the Superstore, they have resistance loops. So they're thinner, they're round, but they're sealed. They're perfect for every exercise we do but one. That's fine, doesn't matter. The idea is to get some resistance. If you can't find equipment, anything that has any kind of spring to it. Pantyhose, nylons, stretch pants, Lululemon, that'd be very expensive resistance bands. The last thing we use is some kind of exercise ball. Dollarama, Dollar Tree, Toys R Us, Walmart. If you can't find that or you don't have one, you can use a dish towel that's being rolled up into the shape of a ball. Several pairs of socks that are being rolled up. Just something that gives you some resistance as you squeeze in. Everybody got that? Hi, Vicky. So since I have this in my hand, we're going to start with the ball. Taking in one hand, we pulse. For the new people, pulsing means squeezing to every beat. And then squeeze, release. Squeeze, release. And pulse. And don't drop the ball. Cornstarch. Forgot to say, when you're doing this, we're not using the claws of our hands, we're using the pads of our fingers and thumb. We do a 4 count. That means we squeeze for 4 and release for 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3. Release. And then we go to the other hand and we pulse. And squeeze. Release. And pulse. Four count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Taking that ball between the palms of your hands, no fingers, no thumbs, and pulse. This is the exercise that most people slack off on. And say, yeah, I'm pulsing. No, you're using big muscles. You're using your shoulders. You're using your biceps, your triceps. Give that ball or whatever you're using a big squeeze. Once again, if you're using your grandchildren, don't squeeze too hard. And squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze. And pulse. And a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. We're done with the ball. I'm going to get a quick drink, and I'm going to go to the hand weights. Before I forget, especially the new people, make sure you have a chair handy. When we do our stretching and balance, we use a chair. And let's start with the feet hip width apart. And bringing those weights back. Torso's nice and tall. The whole idea here is to have our muscles resist gravity, both directions, both the weights going down and the weights going back up. Keep that torso tall. Make sure you breathe through everything. Do not hold your breath. And for the new people, I don't normally talk this much. Just trying to give as many instructions as I can today. Leave those hands out front and bring them out and all the way in. Bringing those weights down. Palms are down towards the floor. Then bringing those weights up, just below chest height, and shirk the shoulders. Then bring those weights all the way down. We put our feet together and we bounce. So what we're working on here are our calves and our plantar fascias. Then up slow and then down slow. Then I'm going to put one of my weights away. Then using whatever you're using for a weight, whether it be a hand weight or a can, and the bottom hand holds it so it will not turn. The top hand turns counterclockwise, trying to open that jar. Changing that upper hand, same thing. Bottom hand holds it steady, other hand turns counterclockwise. We are done with hand weights. I'm going to get a quick drink, and we'll go on to the resistance band. And we'll start by wrapping these up. The closer your hands are, the more tension you have. So you start at whatever level you're comfortable with. And we pulse. So for the new people, as we pulse, the one thing you don't want to see is any slack like this, ever. You should have resistance at all times. I shouldn't say that's just for the new people, that's for everybody. And out, in. Hands are constantly motion. Here's a new word. Breathe. And pulse. Left and right. Left, right. Well, it's my left, probably your right if you're mirroring me. And then the bottom hand stays steady, top hand does bicep curls. Changing that upper hand. Then taking that band or whatever you're using and roll it into a nice tight ball and wring it out. Pulsing out. And taking that band and putting it behind, preferably right under our bottoms. The last time I did this, which was quite a while ago, I had somebody complain that they didn't have anything left after it went around their bottom. Bicep curl. You can do both at once. Then getting those feet about hip width apart. The back of the band is across the back of my hand. Then forward. We are done with equipment. I'm going to get a drink, change up the music, get my chair. We go on to stretch, balance, and breathing. Today we'll start with wall push-ups. I think I'll move my camera just slightly. There we go. Because I don't have a lot of wall space to do this, but you'll get the idea. Toes, 1/2 meter to 3/4 of a meter away from this wall. Hands are up. Body stays a plank. You don't bend at the waist. And then you do push-ups off the wall. And if you don't have a wall where you can see what I'm doing, that's okay. I'll let you know when it's time to stop. Probably about 5 o'clock this afternoon. Now, an alternate to this exercise is to drop your hands down while you're upright, and before you start going forward, you put your hands up. This exercise helps reduce injuries with trips and falls because you're building up the muscles in your upper body, and by bringing your hands up quickly, you'll do the same thing with a trip and fall. We are done with the wall. Next, bend at the waist or hinge at the hips, depending on how you bend. There's no pressure here. You just let gravity pull you down. Check your breathing. Same thing here. When we're done with this, I'll let you know when it's time to come back up. You come up very, very slow. If you've ever gotten out of a chair or from somewhere and you've gotten very dizzy because you got up too quick, it's called blood pooling. All the blood rushes out of your head to other parts of your body. You get lightheaded. Slow and steady is the way to be. And I'll leave the chair for a minute. Do not grab the elbow. Do not grab the shoulder. Grab the tricep in between. And just a slight pressure towards your head. Side. And place the palm of one hand on top of the other. Do not interlock the fingers. One on top of the other. And reach as tall as you possibly can. Stretch that spine out. And like I tell people, you're probably not stretching as far as you think you can. There's a Lotto Max ticket above you. It's worth $60 million tomorrow. Can you reach it? It's amazing how many more centimeters we can get. And once we have that winning ticket, the arms come down and we push all those new relatives and friends we have because we have the winning ticket. And we push them away. Keeping the torso tall, pushing down. Check your breathing. Then I'll get my chair ready. We work on our hip flexors. Those are the hip joints that allow us to flex. So bringing that leg up, we bring it forward and we keep that bend. Keep the torso tall. We just want to flex that hip. And then working on that leg again. Outside leg, we do a hamstring pull or curl. The key to this one is when you release, do not release quickly. Don't just drop that leg. Most sports injuries and other injuries happen because of very quick, sudden movements. So we do everything slow. For some of us, that's the way we always move. So when we release, and then we go do that again. Then we go to the other side and we repeat. So bringing that knee, so it's almost a 90-degree angle, forward and back. And then we do our hamstring. Slow, and then back out, or in, depending on terminology, I guess. We do 2 different balancing exercises. We'll do one of them today. I'll turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing with my feet. I have one foot directly behind the other, with a little bit of space between them. I'm going to focus on a spot on the floor 1 to 2 meters in front of me. As I bend my knees, the back heel will come up off the ground, and when I come back, the front toe comes up off the ground. So it looks like this. Then turning around the other way, so the other foot is now the forward foot, and it's the same exercise. Back heel, front toe. And a quick word about breathing before we start. Yes, I know you've been breathing through all of this. As we get older, we tend to breathe shallower and shallower, and that's not healthy for your lungs. So we really emphasize is to use all of our lungs. When you breathe, your shoulders should not move. If you're out with friends or family, watch the way they breathe. Chances are it's this. No. Nothing should move except maybe your tummy expand. So when you breathe from the bottom of your lungs, it looks like this. There is no upper movement. And then out. So for breathing, we're going to try to... So for breathing, we're going to try to breathe in as much as we possibly can. And when we exhale, we're going to exhale everything. You should be gasping by the time we finish breathing out. So using our arms, breathe in. And out. I exhale so much that for me to start talking again, which I do too much of, I actually have to take a breath in. So let's do this again. In. So before you go today, a couple of things. Number one, I don't normally talk this much. So if this is your first day and you go, damn, he talks a lot, I don't usually talk this much. As I get new people in, I try to give as many instructions as I can to make sure that nobody gets hurt and everybody does things the way they're supposed to do things. Okay? Second of all, the exercises we did at the beginning and then the cool down we did at the end of the aerobic where we move basically every joint, you don't need an exercise class for those. Do those every morning when you get up. Do them when you're thinking about it. Keep those joints limber. It'll make your life much easier. That's it for today. We will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Have a great Monday.